Did you know that the Porsche 911 line is one of the most recognizable silhouette of cars? When you ask your child to draw a sports car, he or she will draw the shape of the classic 911. I would like to introduce you to a project that we called Redrum. The Redrum is the red Porsche 911 generation 964 from 1992, the Carrera 4. This is the last generation of the classic Porsche 911, which looks like a classic Porsche 911. The following ones were from the start controversial. The idea is simple. We want to rebuild the car to bring it closer to modernity, but at the same time keeping its classic character. And what's your role in this project? You can make your childhood dreams come true. We can build this car for you and then deliver it to you. Distance is not a problem, even if you live in Greenland. Redrum is already technically perfect. It's a truly serial Carrera 4. Serial enough to introduce some changes, or maybe even unacceptably serial. Still, it forms perfect canvas for potential modifications. Certainly, the car should be lower. Let's also put on side skirts, because it looks much better with them than without them. The 964 is my favorite generation of Porsche 911, but it looks even better with polycarbonate legs and quarter windows from 911R from 1967. We can add ducktail, change bumpers to light Kevlar ones. We can also make a backdate, for example rebuild the car to the appearance of the F generation. Bonnet, fenders, roof can be lighter. Less weight means more power. Let's smash this with some old school fat wheels. Ideally white 15s, well maybe 16s, because we have to fit brake calipers somewhere. Wait a moment, too many of these backdates. It is a 964, so let it look like 964. We can even expand it, or maybe not. Let's leave its narrow beauty. Too many white Porsches. But let's put some stickers on it. I love stickers. And it's necessary to install a roof rack from our collection on roof. It will be red. These are easy things, but we can go much further. We have developed our own interior for classic Porsche based on the 964 model, as the interior is your temple. Let's start with the floor. You don't need carpets. We can cover it with an element which we've been developing for about 2 years. Our floor covering harmonizes perfectly with the shape of the body. It is smooth and pleasing to the eye. And by the way, it weighs very little. We can cover it with leather or paint. We also offer floor mats from our collection. Cool seats offer a wide range of possible modifications and ensure comfort that will not fade away your dreams of traveling somewhere further, because appearance is not everything. We can stay with stock seats and replace their central parts. Good modern buckets are Recaro Speedster. They are super comfortable but also ingeniously holding corners. We can also use short or long bucket seats from our collection. These short buckets refer to motorsport of the 70s. Longer ones allude to the 90s. But on the other hand, we can reach the top shelf and use GT3 RS seats. Dark brown leather and pepita in central parts will look perfectly here. And we can add the car logo, concave or relief. This is a great detail. The gauges in the classic Porsche look best when they are classic. The 964 gauges can be rebuilt to look like the first 911 clocks of 1965. They have more charm than the crazy 90s. The steering wheel, Momo Prototipo will do the best here. The horn button will be covered with leather and the logo will be embossed in it. The AC panel has been built from scratch to make it look classic. This is our pattern, but it will look like an integral part of this car. It is particularly interesting when placed under the aluminum dashrim, the one that Porsche fitted in its 911s in the early years of production. We moved some of the console knobs from the central console to the central dashboard. Ergonomics. This improves everyday comfort. Do you say radio anywhere? You have it in your own pocket. You don't need anything more than Bluetooth to listen to music, talk on the phone or use a map. We also took care of the charger. You don't have to watch the speakers either. We've hid them. Still, they offer a clear sound. The console control panel looks like the one from the 964 generation, but it's a completely new shape. We've made it from scratch. Porsche never thought of a cup holder. We placed it in the back. At the front, we found a place for the phone. The position is optimal enough not to move while traveling so that you can see the map when you drive longer distances. Shift knob. The wooden ones are super and look like those of the legendary 917. We have some options in this area as well. Door panels are one of the most difficult and underdeveloped elements of the classic Porsche. At least in my opinion. There are two methods of modifications. Subtle door straps. One to open the door, the other to pull the door to close it. This is a direct reference to the 2.7 RS model. Stitching may be a small detail, but how much good it can do. By the way, it will go well with the line of the rear sideboards. The second way to re-engineer a door is more radical, but it suits me better. The armrest and the door handle part were created from scratch. The upper part is, by the way, an ideal place to place more recent window switches. And another cup holder. Floorboards. Anodized, black or anthracite. Yellow stripes provide a perfect contrast to brown leather and pepitas. The GT3 RS seats are made of carbon. Although I'm not a great fan of this structure, it fits this interior perfectly well. Let's go to the rear of the car. Pepita on the rear shelf. Pepita on the seats. Pepita between the seats. Regular, classic construction is boring. We don't need folding backrests. Let's bring in the spirit of the hour times. Let's use only small backrests. Let's sew the back shelf. Let's sew the back shelf in a way matching to the rest of the interior. Finally, the icing of the cake, the logo of the car. I don't need anything more to be happy. Maybe just belts and seats. And now let's take a look at the whole thing. It's easy to visualize and enchant viewers with plans that will never finalize. We have both.